You're listening to the best local sports show. Boots, Bats and Balls on Six Towns Radio.
It is Six Towns Radio, and we welcome back a special guest who's been on the show before, and we did say we'd have regular updates with him. It's Andy Pearce, who's the PDC darts player from Stoke. How are you, mate? All right?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Yes, fine, thank you, fine. I just need to make sure I've got the right levels on your mic. Andy, it must be about 6-8 weeks since we last caught up.
Yeah.
What's been happening in the world of the Vision since then?
Well, the Players' Championship events have all started up again, leading up to the World Championships now. So we've had an event recently in Barnsley, and then we go on to 2 events in Ireland, Dublin and Killarney, and then Wigan, and then off again to Barnsley in preparation for the World Championship qualifiers. So
just explain how the Players' Championships work for us, if you don't mind.
The Players' Championship events, there are 128 players.
Yep.
There's a seeded draw of the top 32, rolling order of merit throughout the last 12 months. So the top 32 are going to be the guys that are performing the best on the floor.
Yes.
There's a draw done, and at 12 o'clock we all kick off, and it's best of 11, and we play down to a winner, which normally finishes around about 6-7 o'clock at night. So, and what sort of level of player enters? Is it everyone in the PDC? Everyone's there. Michael Van Gerwen, Phil Taylor turns up at a few, Barneveld, Adrian Lewis, Andy Hamilton, they're all there.
And you've recently entered one in Barnsley, I understand?
Yeah, I had to turn up on the Sunday. I couldn't make the Saturday out to work, so that was quite unfortunate, but turned up at Barnsley, which wasn't the ideal, best preparation.
Yeah.
But the performance was good. I was just a little bit unlucky first round to a guy named Matt Dewsbury from Nottingham.
And you were 5-3 up in that game?
5-3 up, so I've got 2 shots throwing first, and he went crazy. I think he had a 12 darter, a 14 darter, and then the last leg he was on 96 after 9 darts, and I missed a shot at tops to beat him 6-5, but he held his nerve and he beat me 6-5, so a bit unfortunate, but a lot of positives from the weekend.
I guess being there on the Saturday, and was he there on the Saturday?
Yeah.
That would help in terms of acclimatisation. You're used to it. Does that make any difference, or is it just a case of rocking up and there's a dartboard there, that's what I'm going to do?
In theory, yeah, but it's been probably my first floor event since May, so it would have been nice to probably... there's no warm-up in the PDC because of the standards that high.
Yeah.
But it would have been nice to be there Saturday and Sunday, just to give yourself the maximum opportunity to obviously do well. You
can get drawn against anyone in that, is that right?
Yeah.
So you could draw Phil Taylor first round.
Yeah.
And send him home.
Yeah, that's the idea. I think last year I drew Barneveld in a prelim.
Yeah.
They've changed the format slightly now, so last year there was 256 in the room.
Right.
And I've had Barneveld in a prelim, which was tough.
I bet it was, yeah. How did that go?
I did lose 6-4. I was 4-1 down. Got it back to 4 each, and then missed a truckload of doubles. So I was a little bit annoyed with myself.
So you had opportunities as well.
Yeah. It was nice to get a little bit of respect from Ray after, but obviously respect doesn't count for anything. You need to start putting the performances in where you're winning instead of just having the dart players telling you that you've done well.
Again, that sort of that tells me you've got that message, you understand that message, and you're telling yourself that message now, aren't you? In terms of motivation.
Yeah, most definitely. I don't want to be one of the players that's turning up and going out first round, second round. I want to start making my mark in the PDC and start putting some good runs together and boost myself up the rankings and even start pushing for TV events.
Okay. What must have been an inspiration for that event as another local lad won it?
Yeah, Ian White, Diamond. He's been playing good darts for probably 4 years now. We joined the PDC similar time. Ian was in a position where he could pack his job in and go full time, which probably drove him a little bit more quickly up the rankings than he probably would have done if he was working. But the performances he played, especially on the Sunday, I think he had a quarter-final Saturday. But on the Sunday, he beat A.D. Lewis 6-1, he whitewashed Mark Walsh, and I think he beat Simon Whitlock 6-3 or 6-4 in the final. So to beat that calibre player, Ian's rose up the rankings now. I think he's 25th, and he is someone who's going to do some damage on the floor, and the way his performances are, it won't be long before he's doing some damage on the TV scene. Again,
that must be a great motivation for you to see that can happen. And again, it's someone else from Stoke.
Yeah, most definitely. It is all about practice and hard work and how you dedicate yourself. And Ian, Andy Hamilton, and Adrian and even Phil. The inspiration that you look at as a local player to really push on and knuckle down, because if you do, there's the rewards are there, the financial and obviously the things that go with it.
So you get knocked out the first round of that. You've paid an entry fee. You're going with nothing, I guess.
Yeah, that's right. It was a 3-hour train journey as well, because I didn't drive up to there, so it's a train journey which was a bit dull.
Right. Okay. So not a great weekend for you. And are you looking for positives going forward in terms of other events, are you?
Yes, definitely. I mean, I go to Dublin next weekend. The practice has been really hard, tough practice, so I'm confident going into it that I can do well, because my performances are really, really good at the moment.
So how many's in the Dublin tournament? Is it 128 again?
There'll be slightly more, because it's classed as a European event, so
that
it is open.
Other borders, so you'll meet European darts players there.
Yeah, a lot of the Irish travel.
Guys.
Yeah.
What's the standard of darts in Ireland?
From what we can see, it's really good. I mean, there's players on the scene. Brendan Dolan's in the top 16 at the moment.
Yep.
There's a couple of other players, Michael Mansell, Connie Finnan and William O'Connor, who are always all flying the flag for Ireland. And I've come into contact with a few of them, and they're really, really good players. I mean, the lesser known ones, I think there was a qualifier 2 or 3 years ago that actually went on and won a PDC event. A lad named Felix McBrearty, which is a proper Irish name.
Yeah.
He won a Players' Championship event, which you don't fluke one of them events. You have to be a good dart player. And then went on the following year, and he drew myself first round, and he went home.
All right, okay. So well done on that. Yeah. In terms of crowds and things like that, these sort of events, is there any? Are they open to the public? Are they?
Not the Pro Tour events. The Players' Championship events on the floor, they're more for guests. So
yes.
You're allowed, I think it's 2 passes, and it's sort of like behave, because obviously it's a quiet venue, and people are there to concentrate and push them up the rankings with the prize money. There's some big prize money on offer, so it's more friends and family kind of thing, and sponsors and managers who are there, not like sort of general public.
In terms of Dublin, everyone associates Dublin from this neck of the woods. You get into Dublin, you have a good time, there's plenty of Guinness consumed and things like that. Other drinks are available, but I guess you'll be solely focused on that tournament.
Yes, definitely. We'll get there on the Friday, just about relaxing, getting settled in the hotel, 2 days of darts, and then come back on the Monday. There's not real much time to see the sights or go enjoy yourself, because you're there really to do a job at the end of the day. You're all prepped to that? You're raring to go? Yeah, really looking forward to it. Wish it was this weekend, but obviously we've got to wait a little bit longer. Got other things on this week. There's a singles league that's just started in the area up at Crompo's Pool and Snooker Hall. Yeah. Up in Tunstall, which is going to be good practice, because there's some real good players in it. I had a good start last week. I won both my games 5-0, so I'm sitting top of the table at the moment. Brilliant. And then obviously trying to get a couple of nights in with Andy Hamilton this week in preparation before I go Friday. Okay, just getting back to Ian, what would Ian have won for that tournament? What sort of prize money's on offer? First place prize money is £10,000. Yeah, so great opportunity, and that could make a massive difference to someone of yours. Your standing in darts, couldn't it? Yeah, I mean, if I was to win something like that, it would shoot me from where I am, probably 140 something in the world, probably right up until like the top 60s. Yeah. Which, okay, it's a massive ask to win one of the events, because the standard is amazing, but someone has to win them. That's the way I look at it. You're in the room, you're a good dart player, you're backing yourself because you're there. It's only a matter of time before it works. And everything drops for you, and exactly. you hit them doubles that you potentially miss first round. Yeah. And just in terms of the money side alone, the £10,000, that's what I was getting at, yeah. That would obviously give you a real confidence boost in terms of, actually, I can do this, and is it time to sort of make that decision about dropping the job or moving on? Is that an option if you won one of those, or is that sort of kept in the bag for a bit later? It probably would be kept back a bit, because even though it's a fantastic amount of money to win at a darts tournament for one event, you've got to look at the bigger picture of what it's going to, the knock-on effect for over the next 12 months. So if you win that £10,000 and win nothing else, then it's not worth doing. But I mean, fortunately, the way the ranking system works, that £10,000 for someone my ranking would probably turn into probably 20 or 30 because of the TV events it puts you into.
Ah, right, yeah.
So it would be massive. It would be a conversation with the boss of a little bit more time off because obviously the travelling that would have to do.
Yeah.
But I mean, the way the company are in the business and the group who I work for, which we'll come on to in a minute, they've been really good to me.
I was going to say next thing is, I mean, sponsorship, because that you said Ian I keep referring back to Ian. Ian had the opportunity to finish his job, to concentrate on darts full time. That's paying dividends for him now. You've had a little bit of success in that field as well with sponsorship, haven't you?
Yeah, definitely. It was nice. I work for Stoke Audi, as you know.
Yes.
Which is owned by a company called the Swansway Group, which are based in Crewe.
Mm-hmm.
And I've never really approached them before for sponsorship because I've always felt quite cheeky asking my bosses potentially to sponsor me to leave my job, kind of thing.
So I work here. Can you give me some time off, and can you give me some money so I can have some time off? Yeah,
basically. But I sat with the one of the directors. It's a family-owned business, with a director, David Smythe, a few weeks ago, and we had a chat about obviously what I'd been doing over the last 5-6 years with my darts. Where I see myself going, and he sat down and went through costs, and the meeting went really, really well. It was very positive, and a few days later he called me back over to Crewe, and they agreed to sponsor me. So it was a massive boost for me confidence-wise, because a company that size, I mean, they're probably one of the biggest motor dealers in the country. They've got dealerships from Stoke Audi, Audi dealerships in Crewe and Stafford, Volkswagen dealerships, Honda, Peugeot. They really are a really large group, and they're really successful. So to have a successful company on your shirt backing you is a massive boost for you.
That's Swansway Group, is it? That's the name of the company.
Yeah.
And where do they see their benefits coming out of this? I
think they see, number one, I'm one of their employees who I'll go into my job and I'd work hard every day. I'd like to think the directors see that, and what they've done is they've had a look at the big picture. They've had a look at the rankings. They've had a look at everything, and I think they've seen an area where they can sort of move in and promote themselves as a caring business.
Yes,
and it's amazing for me because never in my wildest dreams would I expect a company like that to sponsor me. But the directors have looked at it and gone, "Yeah, you're worth a shout." And it's going to be quite good for me this next probably 6 to 8 months.
Okay, I'm going to play a song and then we'll come back and talk a little bit more about sponsorship and another probably venture you're getting into. I'm going to talk about theatre to you, which you won't expect, but we'll talk about that after this song. So a bit of a surprise there for you, but we'll talk about that afterwards. But the Joe Boxer's there and Boxer Beat. But we're not talking about boxing, we're talking about darts. And we've got Andy the Vision Pearce in the studio with us. He's been telling us about his last tournament. The next tournament he's going to enter in Dublin, which is the Players' Championships. And we've also talked sponsorship. Now, you talked about Swansway Group sponsoring, which is a big deal for you, and that sort of opens the door where you can enter lots more tournaments for the rest of the year. You've got a year planned out now on what you exactly want to do, isn't it? Yeah,
that's right. The sponsorship has enabled me now to commit to the rest of the tournaments throughout the year that I was wanting to do. So I can dedicate me time and effort now, instead of trying to find enough money to sort of enter the events. I can now sort of relax and prepare properly because, like I say, it comes thick and fast now up until at the end of the year, ready for the World Championships.
So, other sponsors then. You've talked about Swansway Group, a big Audi, well, not just Audi franchise, but they own a number of franchises based up in Crewe. You're one of their employees indirectly, I suppose, but and they're backing their employee to do well. Who else are you involved with?
I've still got Mick Mottram at Premier K9, who he's got his kennels and he's training courses for the dogs, personal security. He has done them for the army, the police as well. So Mick's still involved with me up until January, and it's quite important that Mick stays a part of what I've done, because I'd like to thank him for what he's done for me, because when it got quite tough probably 6-7 months ago, Mick was there helping me out. So I think it'll be important to keep Mick on board just as a thank you, and sort of thanking him for what he did for me.
Okay, and then you talked about other tournaments that you've got your year planned out. Dublin's next for you. You've told us that already. And then I guess the end goal is World Championships, which is Christmas, January.
Yeah, we've got.
What's between then, Dublin and then?
Well, we've got 8 Pro Tour events coming up. Dublin, Killarney in Ireland, and then Wigan and Barnsley. If the ranking isn't high enough to make the World Championships on order of merit, then there's a qualifier on the Monday, the last tournament of the season, just before the Worlds. So there's still a chance to make the World Championships, which is probably the ultimate goal throughout the year.
So in terms of, just explain to the listeners how that works, if you don't mind. So the World Finals, what sort of ranking do you need to automatically achieve that? Where do you need to be in the...
The top 32 in the world
are
invited as the seeds. I think it then goes down to the top 16 on the annual order of merit, who isn't in the World Championships already. And then it's made up probably unfairly of a lot of qualifiers from everywhere, from Australia, New Zealand, Japan, all over the world. And then there's a slot open for 2 PDPA, which is the organisation we're part of.
Yeah.
Qualifiers to obviously try and qualify their way as well. And obviously the exposure for being in the World Championships and the prize money on offer is enough for any dart player to want.
Well, again, that just opens the door for so many more opportunities for you, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. I mean, it's not just obviously the prize money. I mean, that obviously is a massive thing, but it's sort of the exposure, so people actually start recognising that the hard work is paying off, and you're not just some guy that stands there 6-7 years ago saying I could do that. It's obviously a belief in yourself and proving to yourself that you can make it and you can do it. The
qualifiers for the World Champs, just when do they take place, and is that just how many people have to get the opportunity to enter the qualifiers? It's basically anyone that's not in the World Championships after the last event in Barnsley on the Sunday. It's open to any PDPA player, so obviously you have to do the Q School to begin at the start of the year. Yeah. There could be up to 300 players in that from all over the world. Wherever they've played from, they'll enter, and it gives them an opportunity to play through on the day. And obviously, like the man with the luck on the day, he'll be at the Ali Pali. And where do they take place? Are they all over the place, or are they? It's just one tournament at the venue of the PDPA's choosing, which this year's Barnsley. Right. Which is a nice venue to go, actually. So it's going to be a familiar venue to the players. But it's just one day, and like I say, it's just a tournament. The winner gets his World Championship spot. Just one winner, just one spot. I think 2 go through the finalists. Yeah. The winner gets first round draw. The runner-up has a prelim draw in the World, so he'll be drawn against someone from around the world in a best-of-7 shootout, which, with 5,000 people behind you, I can imagine being a bit nervy. Yeah, very, very nervy. Sooner you than me. In terms of the just that whole sort of process, is that something? And between then, so you got Dublin. Are you entering all the Players' Championships between now and then? Yep, every single one. I mean, on ranking, if I can make the Barnsley and Wigan ones, that'll be amazing. But I've put my name in the hat, so we'll see what happens with them. But it's enabled me to put my name in the hat to be in the tournaments. Okay, there is another local darts tournament we're sort of behind as well, the Six Towns Darts Tournament, and I think you're entering that as well, aren't you? Up at Burzum Cricket Club? Yep, I will be there. I think it's 2 weeks away, I think. Yeah, 11th of October. 11th of October, yeah. I'll be up there at Burzum. It'll be nice to play against some local players, because obviously the standard's amazing in Stoke. And I can imagine with the prize money on offer, you're going to get people travelling from Birmingham up in the Cheshire area as well, so it'll be a good day. 128 players are entering that tournament as well, so it's really good sort of practice for you, I guess, isn't it, in terms of, is it similar to a sort of Players' Championship? Yeah, any tournament we play in, I mean, you take serious, you prepare properly for it as you would if it was a Players' Championship event. The
the good thing is with the 128 is you sort of, you know, your format throughout the day. You know where you're sort of going to be on. You know how many rounds you're going to have to play. Some of the events you play and you're not quite sure because there's like 130 players and it's you might get a bye, you might not. You could be waiting 2 hours for a game. With the 128 structure, it's quite good. So you sort of know when you're on and the time distance between your matches. And
is there any other events like that between that you're entering, or any you entered locally recently?
I don't think there's many. I mean, there will be quite a few, but obviously with work, I have to jump in the Saturdays that I'm not at darts. So any Sunday tournaments I can see, if they're close enough and the prize money's correct, then I'll have a mosey on down.
Okay, I'm going to talk to you about something a bit left field that you probably didn't know anything about before this morning, till I've mentioned it to you. There's a theatrical show called Best in the World. I don't know if you had heard anything about it.
No, I've just seen a little snippet of it.
Okay, we just played Andy a YouTube clip of it. Best in the World is, I'll describe it in there. There's only can be one word for it: magic theatre. That's the Guardian. There's a world that can totally transport us from the ordinary to the extraordinary, where you're one perfect throw away from greatness. A place where we all can be champions. That world is darts. Through this noble sport, Alex Elliott asks the unfathomable question: what does it mean to be the best in the world? Join him on an hilarious, occasionally heroic and heartwarming journey, featuring true stories of success, live darts and celebrations of our own personal triumphs. Motivational bananas are included. Who knows, you might be the best audience in the world. And this is a touring play that runs for approximately 70 minutes. I think it's loosely based around the story of Phil Taylor, but it's a theatrical play including live darts. Is that something new that you've come across?
Not before, no. I think if you're gonna do a play, Phil's obviously the ideal person to sort of model the story around, because I mean his story is amazing. I mean, he's gone from unemployed or working for low money to being a multimillionaire and the most successful player ever. So obviously it is sort of like a Rocky kind of story with Phil Taylor. So I imagine it being quite an entertaining night.
Yeah, Boy from Burslem does good. I think we're talking to somebody that's looking at putting that on the area. There's a group called Appetite who are sort of we've got some arts council funding, £3 million worth of arts council funding. What they're trying to do is get more people involved in the arts, or more people aware that the arts exist and what the arts are. So if you're looking at, and I keep saying to them, do stuff for the common man that the person can relate to. Do it around football, do it around darts, do it around sport, because that's something they already do. So it's only one step away. It's not a massive leap to go into the theatre. So if you go into the theatre to watch something about darts, if you want it, or you go into the theatre to watch something around ballet, I guess you get more, the target audience would go more for darts than ballet, because it's something they're half interested in anyway.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, I think the one thing you've got to look at more than anything else is sort of like the attitude of people towards the theatre. I mean, I personally enjoy going. I mean, it's been probably a couple of years since I've last been, but it is a really enjoyable night out, whether you're going to watch a musical, a play, even a comedian who's there. But obviously, like, people's stigma around the theatre is it's for the posh end of the city or the posh end of the country, and it's not really. It's a really enjoyable night. For me personally, I don't think you can beat live entertainment anyway.
No, definitely not.
So I think it could be a good show.
And again, darts has become theatre, hasn't it, really?
Yeah, I think with the characters you've got in the game, I mean, it's absolutely amazing. I mean, the tension that builds up leg by leg, I mean, it's non-stop. One guy will hit a 140, the other guy will hit a 180, and then there'll be a 45, and it's to and fro all the way through, and for the fans there, if you're neutral, it's amazing.
26 if I'm playing. Yeah. So, okay, that's theatre. The other thing I want to talk to you about, you're doing a little bit with Andy Hamilton as well, aren't you? Just tell us a little bit about what you're up to with Andy and what he's involved with.
Obviously, I've been quite fortunate over the last few years to be a practice partner, and we've become real close friends. We travel together, we room together, and he's developed a partnership with one of his sponsors, Bravo Inns, the chap Mark Dean over there. And it was just a passing conversation at first, and it sort of developed a little bit more. They sort of are going to take me under the wing and look after me, not in a sponsorship way, more of like a management and guidance way. Mark's going to develop a website for me, maintain it and look after it for me, and there's also going to be the possibility of doing some exhibitions with Andy at a few of Mark's venues around the northwest of the country.
Bravo Inns, what sort of where they're based?
I think that the head office is in Warrington. He's got, I think it's 40 plus pubs, sort of from Warrington up to Cumbria. So he's quite a large chain of pubs in the area, in that area of the country. He's developed an amazing website for Andy. I think it's thehammer180.co.uk.
Okay, we'll check that out. Yeah.
Really, really good. And he's pushing Andy into probably an area that Andy's never looked at before, with probably products and sponsorship deals and his exhibitions. I mean, Andy's probably one of the hardest working dart players out there, practice wise and performance wise on stage, but he's also really, it's an enjoyable night to watch Andy in an exhibition. I mean, I've been quite fortunate to take part in one with him. I've also had the pleasure of being in the crowd, and he's a really good night. So hopefully Andy can pass on some of his experience to me, and obviously I can maximise the opportunity and attend quite a few of these exhibition nights. And
again, it's great practice. You're out there in front of the public under a bit of pressure. Yeah,
but I mean, obviously, if you're the so-called pro and some guy gets up out the crowd, you don't want to lose to the guy in the crowd, because obviously you're supposed to be the guy there who's better than everyone. But I think fundamentally, as long as you're enjoying yourself doing these exhibitions, then it'll be a great night.
Great for exposure, and that gets you out there in terms of the public and knowing who Andy Pearce is and looking out for you.
Yeah,
and again, in terms of genuine people, you're one of the most genuine people we've sort of come across in terms of, you'll have no problems in terms of other people sort of connecting and seeing that. It's just about getting you out there and getting you exposed, I think.
Thank you, yeah. That's the biggest thing, because obviously the main thing about darts is exposure. All the guys who are working hard doing their exhibitions, it is down to the fact that they're on TV 7-8 times a year.
Yeah.
The way I've got to look at it is obviously like building myself like a little reputation of having a fun night with Andy Pearce. So we'll see where that goes.
Need a glasses sponsor with you, I think, somewhere along the line. Yeah, with that vision or something along that line, with that sort of angle. I think that's what's needed. So if there's any other sponsors out there that want to help Andy out, then please get in touch. Just remind us what your Twitter account is.
It's at PO180. Okay. Hopefully I'll be able to post a website address soon.
Yeah.
I think Mark is listening, so I'm giving him a bit of a nudge to get busy on it.
Yeah, get weaving, Mark. Get busy. Thank you very much for your time.
No problem.
It's been a pleasure having you in again, mate.
Thanks.
Good luck in Dublin.
Thank you.
And good luck in the Burslem Six Towns Darts Open, which is at Burslem Cricket Club on the 11th of October. We'll get that plug in as well. You did ask for a song that we haven't got. I can't find it very quickly, but I'll play a very good Beatles song, Long and Winding Road, because that's a sort of a career for you, I think.
I think so,
You'll get there in the end, I'm sure you will.
Yeah.
Thank you for your time again.
Thanks for having me.
Cheers.
Long and winding road.